There was a guy that I was in high school with. He was a smart guy. He was in the talented and gifting program with me, but he was the ultimate procrastinator. Now, I had a tendency, and still do in a way, to procrastinate quite a bit. But he was the ultimate. And, if you've heard the saying, ask for forgiveness instead of permission, he actually lived by that motto. And he thought ignorance is bliss. And as long as he asked for forgiveness, people would always give him the benefit of the doubt. And so he would miss major deadlines. He would miss so many things. And for a long time, he got away with it. Until our senior year, I guess maybe the people around him were sick of hearing his excuses or what have you. But he cost himself at least several $100,000 worth of scholarships because they did not give him a pass for missing the deadlines. And as it turns out, he ended up not graduating with us because they were sick of his shit. And, even though he asked for forgiveness, they're like, no, you knew. I guess ignorance isn't bliss. Hello, Governor. This is Rakai Steed, nupefromdaville. Let's jump right into this. Season 4, Episode 6 of Doctor Who. This episode was titled The Doctor's Daughter. Real strange episode, and we'll get to the Doctor's actual daughter here in a second. Martha is still on the TARDIS, and this is kind of a continuation what happened at the end of Poison Sky. So we had the Sontaran stratagem, the Poison Sky. Martha is on her way to leave and go back to her family, go back to UNIT. And the TARDIS just does what it wants and it takes off. And before we know it, we're on a strange planet with some human refugees. And then the Doctor and Martha and Donna find themselves attacked or taken at gunpoint. Some creatures called the Hoth come out of nowhere. They kidnap Martha, and they are, I guess, checking the Doctor into their camp. They stick his arm in this machine. Remind me a lot of Idiocracy, and it takes a DNA sample, but not only does it take a sample, it creates a person based off of his DNA almost immediately, and not like a baby clone, like a full adult. It created a 20-year-old in seconds. She comes out of the machine, and the Doctor immediately realizes, because of how she has been created off of his DNA, he calls her his daughter. And because she's a genetic clone, Donna decides to call her Jenny. Now, throughout this episode, we get classic Who staples. They're running, knees to chest. They're doing a lot of running. And the Doctor sees that the humans and the Hoth are locked in this struggle for dominance. And what he later comes to find out is, by checking the computer logs and finding out what was going on, that there was a power vacuum. The person who was in charge of both the Hoth and the humans died. And because they were creating instant clones of people, or instant people, based off of, the people that, lived, died, whatever have you, all of the memories, all of the story behind what had been going on was downloaded into that new person. However, it was like the game of telephone. The longer it went on, the more twisted it became, to the fact that these people thought that they had been fighting for generations, and the power vacuum happened in 1 week. They had only been fighting for a week, but because of the way the history was downloaded in each clone, they thought that they had been fighting for generations. This has been going on forever, and it's just the way it is. It's going to be either us or them, and it's complete destruction. And the thing is, things happen in life And one of the worst things that you can do is stick your head in the sand and pretend it doesn't happen. Let things blow over because it doesn't affect you. And a lot of times it affects you more than you're willing to let on to. We have that situation in our elections in this country. And I'm not talking about just the national elections, because people seem to draw sides there, and it's not even based on what is best for you and your family, your living situation. You have sides drawn based on this is what we've always voted. Regardless of how good or terrible the candidate is, the things that they say that you know in your heart would not be a good situation for you, you've already picked. You picked without picking. And it's actually terrible that, we are literally on the verge of dictatorship by one person who said that they're all for dictatorship. And some of the favorite people in the world are other dictators out here in the world. And a lot of people are going for that. Now, and I admit, the dude that we got right now for president, listen, this guy, I don't know if he knows what day of the week it is. I just, and to be honest, both of these candidates suck. They're both terrible. They're both too old. They are, I don't want either dude actually thinking that the way that they did things in the late 1800s is the way that we should be doing stuff now, because that's basically what both these dudes are. Well, I remember when we rode a horse and carriage, and that's... Man, if you don't shut up. However, we have a lot of people that don't vote, don't take any part in the political process, and that's just not national, that's local. And local is what really affects your life on a daily basis. A lot of people don't take part in it. And sometimes it's because you don't think that your vote matters, or you vote and the person you voted for loses. And that's just part of the game. And yes, the game is rigged. It's a dirty game. But you cannot just complain incessantly and you're not taking care of part of the process. You're not a part of the process. You're not trying to make things better. And that's what it's going to take. I've said, and you've heard me say in other deep dives, that I don't care nothing about allies. I don't want allies. Because when the shit gets rough, an ally can choose to pull back and be like, hey, I'm done. Good luck to y'all. Y'all do, tell me how this works out. Because it doesn't affect you personally, you bow out. That's not my fight. And a lot of people are like that. But don't come to me with I'm an ally. Get the hell out of here. I need an accomplice. I need someone on the front lines with me. I need someone with skin in the game. If they come in to hit me in the head, well, they hit you in the head first, because you are there with me. When I'm running, you running, knees to chest. That's what we need. And that goes across the board for everything. Ignorance is not bliss. You don't get a pass for not knowing. And I understand, you don't know what you don't know. But when you don't know because you don't want to know, or you don't care to know, that is a problem. I'm going to leave you with this, and it's a quote actually from Jim Rohn. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is tragedy. Ignorance is devastation. Ignorance creates lack. Ignorance creates disease. Ignorance will shorten your life. You can choose to not be ignorant. And to not be ignorant is not, are you smart, are you dumb? Ignorance is willful. You don't have to be that way. This is Rakai Steed, new from Daville. Check the link in the description to know which reaction Centel and I did to this particular episode. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't. It's all about this. It's all about this.